What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I'm really excited to be doing my full review of the Petrified Fish Beluga. This mammoth here comes in with a 3.62 inch K110 blade, which is basically Bowler's D2 steel. This is a tool steel. It has a really nice fuller on it. It is a drop point with a really big belly. Overall length is 4.73 inches with G10 handles. G10 handles coming in at 4.73 inches with an overall length of 8.35 inches. You're going to see just how big this is here in a minute. Claimed weight is 5.6 ounces, and we're going to check that right now. Let's see how much this actually weighs. So again, claim weight 5.6. Wow. Coming in at 5.5. So a little bit less than the claimed weight. That's always a pleasant surprise. So let's go ahead and run through the comparison knives. I don't know that I'll have any comparables, but if I can think of some, we'll do that too. So first up is going to be the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. The Yojimbo has a 3.125 inch S20V blade. Kind of comical to see these two together. I don't think I have the pivots lined up very well. Let me try that again. There we go. G10 handles are 4.5 inches. Overall length of the Yojimbo 2 is 7.5 inches and coming in at a very lightweight 4 ounces. So you can see the Petrified Fish is definitely bigger, but let's check out the Yojimbo 2's bigger brother, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which has a 3.44 inch S45 VN blade steel, has 4.81 inch G10 handles. These are the Flytanium crossfade scale handles, 8.25 inches overall, coming in at a ultra lightweight, or a very lightweight 3.75 ounces. A little bit closer in size to the PM2 as far as length, but much more presence. So you can see there's a big difference here. This is a big boy, a big hand filling, looking like a hard working knife. Let's go ahead and bring out the crossbar lock knives. First up is going to be the Benchmade Bug Out, which has a 3.24 inch S30V blade. These have 4.22 inch Flytanium G10 handles with an overall length of 7.46 inches and coming in at a lightweight 2.3 ounces. So you can see it makes the Bug Out look really small, and the Bug Out is a small knife by comparison, but not a super small knife. It's not like a 3-inch blade knife. Next up, we're going to bring out the Sig K320 made by Hogue. You would think this one's going to compare pretty well. 3.5 inch S30V blade. It comes in with 4.5 inch polymer handles. Overall length is 8 inches and weighing in at 4.16 ounces. So you can just see how big this Petrified Fish is when you bring that K320 out here. The blade length is similar, but it's just so much more presence going on here. Let's go ahead and bring out the budget knife comparisons. So on the budget knife, you're going to have the Kubi KU321. Has a 2.99 inch D2 steel. It has a 4.29 inch G10 handles. Overall length is 7.28 inches and coming in at 3.32 ounces. Doesn't it make that Kubi Royal look puny? And that's a decent nice knife. It's full four finger grip knife. And next on the comparison list is going to be the Civivi button lock. This one here has a 3.47 inch 14C 28N blade, 4.53 inch micarta handles, overall length 8 inches, coming in at a very lightweight 3.19 ounces. So you can just see how big this Petrified Fish really is. Let's go ahead and run some profile comparisons so you can see the thickness of this knife. And this has just fall shut action. Bearings are really nice. You can see here Petrified Fish is thicker than the Elementum. I'm going to switch hands so I can move through this a little bit faster. Let's check the Kubi out. The KU321 and the Petrified Fish. The Petrified Fish just a little bit thicker, and a little surprised by that one. Let's check out the Bug Out. This is going to be funny. All right, so the Bug Out is like half as thick. Let's see if the K320, which is usually my thickest knife, how it compares to the Petrified Fish. Wow, so identical at the head, and then when you come down to the stock on this one, because it has that V shape, just a whole lot thinner. Let's go ahead and check out the Yojimbo 2, which also represents the Para 3. You can see much thinner. And then let's actually look at the Flatanium scales here. So the Petrified Fish is definitely thicker. What I'd like to do really quick before I give my final thoughts, let's go ahead and look at some knives that are in the same ballpark, in my opinion, that actually have that might be close to that size. So we mentioned earlier the K320 is usually a knife that I consider a big boy and a work knife. And you can see the Petrified Fish just a little bit bigger. A knife that I think is going to compare well, ZT0562 Hinderer design. You can see here the Hinderer is longer in blade length from the pivot and handle length, but it doesn't have quite as much girth, but with that contouring, it's really close. Another knife that I'd like to bring out here to compare is going to be the Hinderer Xm18. This one's a little bit shorter than the Hinderer from ZT, the 0562. You can see it is actually a little bit shorter in handle, but very close in blade length, but it has less presence because it is a little bit more slender. I think that's the top. Yeah, it's a little bit more slender. So that contouring brings it close, but it's a little bit different. So one more knife that I'll bring out here for the comparison that I think is really close to this size and probably a little bit more recognizable to you all is going to be the Spyderco Shaman. This one and the K320 are kind of close in size, but you can see here similar length, but not quite as girth. So those again are just some of the knives that are comparable in size, but this overall is just a really big knife. The ergonomics actually feel really comfortable in hand for somebody with my hand size, but if you have large or smaller glove-sized hands, this is probably not going to be as comfortable in hand for you guys. You probably are going to end up more like up here, or maybe kind of holding it like around here. That's what I imagine, because I'm rocking 2XL sized gloved hands for this knife. I really do like the way it feels in hand. I like where the jimping is, and I love the ergonomics and the blade shape. This is a really good working blade shape, because when you do your push cuts, it's going to come right through. One thing that I'm noticing right now as I did that drag is I did feel that fuller. So I don't know how much that's going to catch on whatever it is that you're trying to slice through. And if you're trying to pull up through the cardboard, this is going to be really comfortable. Your hand falls right into that finger cutout really nicely. They give you a little bit of a sharpening choil, but it's right next to the plunge. So that's something to take note of. The other thing too, I do love the action on this, the fall shut action, but it does come with, if you don't like the bearings, it comes with the phosphor bronze washers. If you're working around stuff that's dusty or a little bit more sandy or dirty, this is probably a little bit better option than the opened style bearings that are in there. It also comes with, and I mentioned this in the unboxing and I'm trying to get to them, it does come with the silver screw set if you wanted to change out the black to the silver, and I guess that would depend on the color, but I like the black a little bit better. My only complaint is that I wish it was a little bit more black and silver in the Petrified Fish logo, which is really well done. It does stick up a little bit, but you don't feel that because your hand's not really too close to that. When you get into your position, your thumb rests right over top of it and your finger doesn't come close to it. The fuller works really well, but there is a little bit of sharpness to it. I wish they would have been able to kind of make it to where you could still get in there, but you didn't feel the sharpness. I do feel the sharpness a little bit on the meat of my finger, and I can't quite get it with the fingernail comfortably. It doesn't feel very confident for me, but that's going to be subjective to how you deploy your knives. From the thumb deployment, you just got to get your thumb kind of really close if it's big in here in between, and it'll come flying right out of there. So those two work really nice. Again, I wish that anyone that did the jimping would just go all the way around. This jimping's okay. It's not the best, not the worst. That flipper tab is up high enough to where you can get to it and deploy it very easily. So, and the action really good on these bearings. I don't know about the washers. I haven't changed those out. So overall, really good value. I think this is like a sub $50 knife, and it's definitely meant to go out there and do some work. So if you're looking for something that you can use and abuse, that's affordable, that has good steel, that's going to be tough, have good edge retention, a little bit harder to sharpen, but you can just maintenance the edge with some stropping on a little piece of leather, this is going to be your guy. Really nice knife. If you enjoyed the video, if you can do me a favor, leave a like. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you enjoy the content so that I can keep bringing the content to you, and turn on your notifications so you can get alerts if you want to join. That way you get notification whenever future content drops. Thanks to everyone out there that has been supporting me, supporting the channel so I can make it grow. You guys are all awesome in this community. The support is fantastic. Really feeling the love. I hope you all have a fantastic week. And until next time, everybody, peace.